Hi, I am Zero to Webmaster founder Dr. Kerry Kriger, and I'm going to be explaining the WordPress Media Library today. Let's get into it. I'm in Zero to Webmaster website currently in the dashboard. You can find your media library down here. Scroll down to Media Library. Now, I almost never click that because I usually don't need to just go into the media library for no reason. Usually what's happening is I will be creating a page. So let's just go click new page right here, hold down command so we get into a new window, and I'll show you how I normally enter into the media library. What is the media library first though? It's a place where your images, your PDFs, and other files could be stored on your site for display on your site. You don't have to put anything in there. You could store all files externally, but the vast majority of WordPress users almost certainly do put stuff into their media library, as do I. Here we've got a new page. First off, what is this? It's the Zero to Webmaster website, and it's built off of the Zero to Webmaster super site. So what is the super site? It's a pre-built site essentially that I offer to my clients. It could be you. If you want an amazing WordPress site that's ready to go, that can do everything you need it to do. It's got e-commerce, donations, learning management system. It's got a CRM. It can send out email newsletters, etc. This site is basically what's running the show over here on Zero to Webmaster. And we are now into this is the front end of the site. Okay, where did this image come from? Right here. Let's just go. I don't even need to make a new page. Let's just click edit on this page and we can see exactly what you're going to see when you're creating web pages and you need to display images or even PDFs or MP3 files. Any kind of file could go in there. Now, should you put it in there is a different question that I'll get to momentarily. But here's this file right here, and it says, hey, you want to replace it? You want to edit it? Either of these would take me to the media library, as we can see right there. But every file also has a URL. So as I said before, if there were an image on some other website or on a server somewhere, you could just grab the URL of that image and put it right here and it would display. But mostly I'm putting stuff in the media library. So here we are again with a view of the media library, and there's that image. So what do we see about it? It's got a file name on display. It's got the date that it was uploaded. I think that's the upload date. Maybe it's the date of the file metadata, but I think it's the upload date. How big is the file? Hey, it's not 3 megabytes. Don't upload huge files into your media library. Prepare them in advance. How are you going to do that? I use Photoshop, and I crop the images down to usually 1400 pixels wide. If it's horizontal, I'd put it 1400 pixels wide. If it's vertical, like an Instagram story, I'd put it at like 800 pixels wide maybe. And I'd put maximum, generally speaking, 250 kilobytes. I don't need anything bigger than that because we don't need to have large files that slow down our websites if we can have a smaller version of the file that still looks good. Now, I have a program called Image Optim. Hopefully you can see that right there. IMAGEOPTIM, all one word. It's free. You just drag an image in there. After I put it at 1400 pixels wide and about 250 kilobytes, then I'll put it into Image Optim and it'll take it down a little bit in size usually without affecting the quality. If you don't have Photoshop, that's fine. There's tons of other programs. There's free programs. I think one's called Photor that works well, FOTOR.com. You could also just type into Google reduce image size or reduce photo size, and you could do it like that, though if you have Photoshop, that's probably the best option. All right, so we can see this one is 1400 pixels by 1225. That means it's 1400 wide, 1225 high. Now, what else can we see here? An alt text. For whatever image we're looking at, it's going to show this metadata on the right in the right sidebar. All right, so alt text and title. I always fill those in because one, it helps me search. Watch this. If I want, show me any image about elections, then I can just type into here in the search bar. It works awesome. All right, it does a really good job, and it'll show me all my images that have to do with elections that it knows, because either the word election is in the file name, that's why I give it a relevant file name, or it's in the title. Unfortunately, it can't search what's in the alt text, so I'm just gonna type like yun, okay, or yun, some word that's not showing up anywhere else, and we can test, can it find what's in the alt text? And for some reason it cannot, which is kind of weird. But if I put it right here, yun, can it do it there? Let's get out of there and then try another search just to test the system. So it does show up. All right, so if you need something searchable, make sure it's in title. What's the only thing? Usually I have the exact same alt text as title. It'll probably bring in the file name into the title when you upload a file. I'll show you how to upload into your media library. But if I do want it to be different, it's usually because I want to remember that I have not yet used that image somewhere on my site. If I have not used the image on the site, how am I going to tell later on when I'm looking for unused images? I don't like to duplicate and put the same image all over the site. I like using one image in one location. So I type in right here, unpublished, all caps, and it's easy to see. And then if I'm looking for a new image, then I can just type unpub right there, and it'll find me all the images that have not yet been published on the site. Once I know I'm going to use it, I delete that out of there, and then I use it, and then it won't show up in future searches. So that's a little quick tip. Let's get out of here since this is the home page, and let's just go to this blank page, which we'll just call testing. Delete me. Okay, now let's insert something. How are you going to insert something? You could click this plus sign to add a block. You could come over here to add some kind of block. There's all these different choices of things to add in here, but usually I'm just going to create something that I'm going to add in something that I've already created, that's already optimized. It's already mobile optimized. It already looks good. Now look, I have a page, and how long did it take me to make this page? I'm going to publish it right now. I am going to make it full width. So how am I going to do that? Click this, Cadence page settings, disable, full width, unbox, disable. How do I remember that? They're all down the right side. 5 of these down the right side, and then full width right there. And what's that do for me? It makes the page full width, and it'll all look good to me. There's seldom a time where I veer from those settings right there, because they pretty much always do what I want them to do. Let's open up. This is a live page. I just created it. Whoa, it's a beautiful page. It took me, a minute to make that page. Would have been less if I had been focused. But let's put some images right into here. Now, why didn't the images show up? That's a good question. All right, whatever the case may be, let's get right here into settings and edit the image. So I'm not sure why it didn't show up. I could also click our document overview right here. There should be an image there, but there's not. So I could just, if I want, I could add before a brand new one that I know is not corrupted in any way. Image, for the Cadence one, ADV gives me the advanced image, Cadence images, which are the ones I like. Now I can delete this. I'm going to use Control Option Delete, or I could just click the 3 dots, scroll down, and click Delete. All right, now the bad one's gone. And now I could just probably copy that and come in here and delete that right there. Just do it the old-fashioned way. Underneath here, add after. Now I can just hit paste, and there it is. And again, get rid of this one, delete, and then underneath name, add after. I'm going to hit paste. So now we have actual image blocks ready to go. Select image. All right, or insert from URL. If you have a URL from an image somewhere else on the World Wide Web, all right, we could come over here, supersite.icu, or you could be in Pexels or Unsplash or some free stock library with legal images, ideally. And I can copy the image address, that's it, the URL of the image, and come back over here And I could just insert it in there. All right, and there it is. It just showed up. All right, but usually I'm adding stuff to my media library because I don't know what happens if that website goes down over there, then my image is not going to exist in my website. Whereas I know if it's in my media library, it's going to be there. So I can either choose an image that's already there. That would be simple. I just click it and click select and it shows up. Or let's add one, select image. What if I need a new image? Then I just drag it in from my computer. All right, we are back. I am dragging an image in from my computer and it's 291 kilobytes. Hey, so what I could do, I don't know if this has been reduced by Image Optim, so let me just open that. All I do is drag it into Image Optim. Hey, it took off 27% from the size and now it's 210 kilobytes. Perfect. I just drag it in to the library. It uploads. It'll show up in the top left position because these are reverse chronological. And here I can see that the file name came in automatically to the title. Now I'm just going to copy that and put it here. And now Google has an even better chance of finding it. Okay, so that if Google changes its algorithm and it decides to only look at alt text, well, we've got some alt text there. And now I just hit select and it's ready to go. There it is. Now I can update my page. And let's refresh this. And there we go. We've got 3 images have shown up. And then you can do whatever you want to make your images look how you want. But let's go ahead, say we want to edit it. We do have some editing controls. I could click replace or edit image. It would take me to the media library. This is loaded up and there is an edit image option. I almost never use it. But you do have the ability to do certain things. You could crop it. All right, usually I have my images prepared in advance, but let's hit the crop, apply the crop. Here we just drag it down, say I want it like that. Apply the crop, but this is going to be permanent, I believe. I'm not sure if you can undo this later. Maybe you can. You can experiment. Image rotation, flip it vertically. Oh, flip horizontally. I never knew that was there. Now that could come in, that will come in well, because look at this. I like this. Oh, this is perfect because people look where people look. All right, so if people in your photo are looking that way, then your website visitor is going to look that way. There's a high chance. What if I don't want them looking that way? What if I want them looking at the buy now button that's over there? Then I can just flip this. Okay, so sometimes I have, like on SaveTheFrogs.com, I'll have a frog on the right side of the page that's looking off to the right off the computer. I don't want that. I'd rather flip it so that the frog is looking towards the important text or the calls to action. All right, so save edits. We flipped this guy and we cropped him. And there may be some other controls, and now I can select, and now he has reversed, and we can, was he already that direction? I can't remember, but he's gonna get cropped now when I refresh, assuming my page is updated. There it is. So you have some controls. What if you need to, let's just come in here, the official media library location in the left sidebar, media library. What if you wanna delete stuff? That's easy, you click on it, and there's a delete permanently button right there. You can download the file if you need to get it downloaded to your computer. Edit more details. I'm not sure what that is. Obviously, I don't hang out in this area too much, but there's more stuff now because actually this is a URL, so we could say, hey, it's almost like a page, right? It's got its own area in WordPress. I don't ever hang out in here, so let's just get out of there. You can flip through, you can scroll through these one by one by clicking the arrow right there. You can filter down to only show you certain types of files. As you can see, I've only got images in here. Let's talk about PDFs. You can search by date uploaded. You can bulk select images if you need to mass delete, I assume. You can click add new media file right there. And you could also, well, let me show you one more thing before I talk about PDFs and MP3s and videos, which you could also have in there. Let's come in here and click replace, open media library. Because there is this Pexels option. Pexels is free stock images, so we could say rainforest frog. And these are going to be legal to use. Will they be the size that I want? I'm not sure. Let's just click it and put it in there. Oh, it wants me to download the image first. I don't want to download it. I just want to use it. Maybe this means download it into my site. So let me click and see what that does. Download into my media library. That's what it means. And now let's look at it. Hey, they're using 2560 pixels wide, wider than I need, but that'll work for a full width image. And it's only 220 kilobytes, so that's good, and that it's not a huge photo. I wouldn't want it downloading 4 megabyte photos. But otherwise, you could just go to pexels.com or unsplash.com or Envato Elements or whatever stock photo site you use and get them there. Let's delete it. Error in deleting the attachment. All right, it says that, but maybe it truly did delete it. Let's find out. All right, it did delete it, so there was not an error. Now, let's talk about the media library. What's going to go in here? I say only put images in there because you shouldn't, you don't want to put large files in here. Why? Because the person using your site is going to be downloading potentially the large file, or it's going to be serving up large files. It's going to be using your bandwidth. Your host is limiting your bandwidth. Your host will charge you more as more people start using your site, and as more things are getting downloaded, and as more megabytes are adding up. All right, so you don't want that. The more you have in here, the longer it's going to take to back up your site, the more space it's going to take to back up your site, which could potentially cost you because your host doesn't want to be storing large files, or your backup system, or your computer. So having a small site is good for lots of reasons. A lightweight site, I'll say. So what do you do with your PDFs? I have certainly stored lots of PDFs in here, but these days I use Bunny. Okay, let's go to the easier things first. MP3 files, store them. If you have SoundCloud account, you can put them up on SoundCloud. If your music's already on Spotify, you can just use your Spotify. Okay, videos, put them up on YouTube or Vimeo, and let them host your video, and then you just grab the URL and you embed it easily into your site. How are we going to do that? Let's get out of here. Let's come over here, and let's say we want a video right here instead. All right, so add before and /yo, and there's YouTube. Okay, or I could have hit /vi and it would give me Vimeo, and then I just put the URL of the video right there and click embed, and boom, there's my YouTube video, would show up there. But what about PDFs? And if you do need an MP3 served, then I do encourage you to go get an account with Bunny, bunny.net. Let's just type in bunny.net and see what they say they are. They are a global content delivery platform. They will host your files and they will serve it through their CDN, content delivery network, at rapid speed to anyone around the world. And then you're not weighing down your site. So Bunny, you're going to go in there. You're going to have to set up some things that'll take you 5 or 10 minutes, and you can follow their instructions. You'll probably have to set up a pull zone. All right, I have this folder called Zero to Webmaster, and in it I have a folder called Images, and I have a folder called PDF. And I could create a folder called MP3s. I could put videos in there, okay? And then at least they're on someone else's site, not my site. You'll have to pay for this, but it does not cost much. I paid them $10 long ago, and I have not used up my $10 worth of credit yet. So what would you do? I have a folder. Oh, I've got nothing in there, but if I had a PDF, I'd drag it in here. It would upload, and then I'd right-click it, copy the URL of that PDF. The PDF has a location on the web. I copy that URL. Let's see if I have images in here. I do. All right, because for a while I thought, oh, I'm not going to put anything in my media library. And then the benefit of that would be not only is my site super lightweight, but every image on my site would have a URL pointing to a permanent location of an image. And if I have to migrate my site to a different server or rebuild my site or anything, all those pages I've created, they're all pointing to bunny.net, okay, somewhere other than my site. So it would be super easy to migrate a site, but I just really like the media library. It's easy to use, it's easy to look at, it's easy to search for images in there. Whereas The bunny user interface is not a place I don't want to have to open up an external website every time I need to add an image, and then I don't like their search system. There's things about their UI I don't want to be hanging out there, so I don't do this, but you could. Some people do, and then they don't have any images on their site. There's the URL. So you just copy the URL, you come over here, and remember, right here, it's giving you a choice. Maybe down here, let's see, edit image. Let's just start from scratch. I thought there was going to be an easy way to put the URL in there. There it is right there, replace. I could just edit it and say, hey, here's the URL of the image that I want you to serve up. And there it is right there. Or when I add a new image, it should give me the option. Let's do that. Let's image, let's just add after. And I'm going to say add advanced image. Instead of selecting image and going to my media library, just insert from URL. Hey, there's my URL. It's hanging out on Bunny's website, b-cdn. And there it is. So you don't need any images inside of your website, but I do like to have them. Just make sure that they're 250 kilobytes or smaller, generally speaking. You could even go smaller. Really, you just need an image that looks good. You don't need an image that's big. All right, so same thing for PDFs. I would put them into Bunny because you're not going to have to be searching for them. You're usually only just going to put it in there once, grab the URL, put it up on your site, and not have to go back. Whereas the media library, I'm like reusing these images, or I'm looking for them. Maybe I want to create a gallery of everything. Everything futuristic. Okay, I can type in FUTUR and I can see all of my futuristic art. I think that's it. That's a whole lot about the media gallery. You should know what to put there. You should know how to prepare your images for the media gallery, the media library, and you should know how to edit images in there, search for images. That was a quick introduction to bunny.net and why you would use it. I only use it for big files like PDFs, MP3s, and I do keep all my images in the WordPress Media Library. That's it. I am Zero to Webmaster founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. Thanks for watching. Go check out zerotowebmaster.com. We've got new content going up all the time. Where do informational videos like this end up? They end up at zerotowebmaster.com/docs, documentation. So go teach yourself, learn, educate yourself about your website. You'll have a better website in the end, and you'll sell more products and services, collect more donations, educate more people. Any questions, let me know. Bye.